Time for breakfast, Hebrews chapter 6. Therefore, having left the word of the beginning of the Messiah, let us go on to perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of belief toward Elohim, of the teaching of immersions, and of laying on of hands, and of resurrection of the dead, and of everlasting judgment. And this we shall do, if Elohim indeed permits. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened, and have tasted the heavenly gift, and have become partakers of the set-apart Spirit, and have tasted the good word of Elohim, and the powers of the age to come, and fall away, to renew them again to repentance, having impaled for themselves the Son of Elohim again, and put him to open shame. For ground that is drinking the rain, often falling on it, and is bearing plants fit for those by whom it is tilled, receives blessing from Elohim. But if it brings forth thorns and thistles, it is rejected, and near to being cursed, and ends up by being burned. But although we speak in this way, beloved, we are persuaded concerning you of better matters which possess deliverance. For Elohim is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown toward his name, in that you have attended to the set-apart ones, and still attend. And we desire that each of you show the same eagerness to the entire confirmation of expectation until the end, in order that you do not become sluggish, but imitate those who through belief and patience inherit the promise. For Elohim, having promised Abraham, since he could swear by no one greater, swore by himself, saying, Truly blessing I shall bless you, and increasing I shall increase you. And so, after being patient, he obtained the promise. For men do indeed swear by the one greater, and an oath for confirmation is for them an end of all dispute. In this way Elohim, resolving to show even more clearly to the heirs of promise the unchangeableness of his purpose, confirmed it by an oath, so that by two unchangeable matters in which it is impossible for Elohim to lie, we might have strong encouragement, we who have fled for refuge, to lay hold of the expectations set before us, which we have as an anchor of the life, both safe and firm, and entering into that within the veil, where Yeshua has entered, as a forerunner for us, having become high priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek. For this Melchizedek, sovereign of Shalem, priest of the Most High Elohim, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the sovereigns and blessed him, to whom also Abraham gave a 10th part of all, his name being translated, indeed first, sovereign of righteousness, and then also sovereign of Shalem, that is, sovereign of peace. Without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but having been made like the Son of Elohim, remains a priest for all time. Now see how great this one was, to whom even the ancestor Abraham gave a 10th of the choicest booty. And truly, those who are of the sons of Levi, who receive the priesthood, have a command to receive tithes from the people, according to the Torah, that is, from their brothers, though they have come from the loins of Abraham. However, the one whose genealogy is not derived from them received tithes from Abraham and blessed the one who held the promises. And it is beyond all dispute that the lesser is blessed by the better. And here it is men who die that receive tithes, but there is someone of whom it is witnessed that he lives. And one might say that through Abraham, even Levi, who received tithes, gave tithes, for he was still in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. Truly then, if perfection were through the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people were given the Torah, why was there still need for another priest to arise according to the order of Melchizedek, and not be called according to the order of Aharon? For the priesthood being changed of necessity, there takes place a change of law also. For he of whom this is said belongs to another tribe, from which no one had attended at the slaughter place. For it is perfectly clear that our master arose from Yehuda, a tribe about which Moshe never spoke of concerning priesthood. And this is clearer still, if another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become, not according to the Torah of fleshly command, but according to the power of an endless life. For he does witness, "You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek." For there is indeed a setting aside of the former command, because of its weakness and unprofitableness. For the Torah perfected not, but the bringing in of a better expectation, through which we draw near to Elohim, and it was not without an oath. For they did indeed become priests without an oath, but he became a priest with an oath, by him who said to him, "Jehovah has sworn and shall not regret. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek." But as much as this, Yeshua has become a guarantor of a better covenant. And indeed, those that became priests were many, because they were prevented by death from continuing. But he, because he remains forever, has an unchangeable priesthood. Therefore, he is also able to save completely those who draw near to Elohim through him, ever living to make intercession for them. For it was fitting that we should have such a high priest, kind, innocent, undefiled, having been separated from sinners and exalted above the heavens, who does not need, as those high priests, to offer up slaughter offerings day by day, first for his own sins and then for those of the people. For this he did once for all when he offered up himself. For the Torah appoints as high priests men who have weakness, but the word of the oath which came after the Torah appoints the Son having been perfected forever. Now the summary of what we are saying is, we have such a high priest who is seated at the right hand of the throne of the greatness in the heavens, who serves in the set-apart place, and of the true tent which Jehovah set up, and not man. For every high priest is appointed to offer both gifts and slaughters, so it was also necessary for this one to have somewhat to offer. For if indeed he were on earth, he would not be a priest, since there are priests who offer the gifts according to the Torah, who serve a copy and shadow of the heavenly, as Moshe was warned when he was about to make the tent. For he said, "See that you make all according to the pattern shown you on the mountain." But now he has obtained a more excellent service, inasmuch as he is also mediator of a better covenant, which was constituted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then no place would have been sought for a second. For finding fault with them, he says, "See, the days are coming, says Jehovah, when I shall conclude with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehuda a renewed covenant, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they did not continue in my covenant, and I disregarded them, says Jehovah. Because this is the covenant that I shall make with the house of Israel after those days, says Jehovah, giving my laws in their mind, and I shall write them on their hearts, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And they shall by no means teach each one his neighbor, and each one his brother, saying, Know Jehovah, because they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest of them, because I shall forgive their unrighteousness and their sins, and their lawlessness I shall no longer remember. But saying renewed, he has made the first old. Now what becomes old and growing aged is near disappearing.